In my previous video, how to consistently score 20 plus points in rec, I talked about 2 mentality traits that help you stand out when playing with randoms: humility and patience. One of the first comments under that video said this: to anybody watching this, know that this advice is applicable to real life, not just 2K. That comment stuck with me because they were right. So in this video, I wanted to reflect more on what humility and patience look like off the game and how they can help you grow as a person. Shout out to that person. Let's get into it. The reason I started wanting to practice humility and patience was simple. I wanted to grow mentally, emotionally as a person. The more I paid attention, the more I saw how beneficial these traits really are. Not just in how people respond to you, but what it does inside you. Pause. Living out patience and humility helps you improve mentally. You get sharper and wiser. You mature in ways you didn't even realize you needed. And while you grow inside, you start seeing the effects outside too. In daily life and how people treat you, it all reflects back. It's like a quiet light shining through you. When you walk consistently in that, the real love you get from others is hard to explain. People start treating you differently. You give patience and humility, and it comes back twice as strong. For me, it felt unexpected. I wasn't chasing anything, but the rewards felt real. That's when I realized life gets better when you live those traits. You start experiencing real peace. For me, it started with family. That's where I first noticed how quick I was to get defensive, how often I let emotions lead, especially because you're comfortable around family. That's when humility came through accountability. There were moments I did the opposite, when I didn't stay patient, when I reacted before thinking. But those moments showed me where I could grow. It wasn't about being perfect. It was about being honest and aware enough to grow. And once that clicked, it didn't just stay with family. That mindset slowly spilled into everything else. Once that mindset started to spill into everything else, I began paying closer attention, not just to my own reactions, but to the people around me. After I started catching my own emotions in real time, looking for those moments to actually practice humility and patience, I noticed something. Even before I made changes, I'd already been around all kinds of people. But once I started walking in it, the contrast became clearer. I saw patterns, not just in me, but in how others carried themselves too. There's something real about the energy that humility and patience bring. It's obvious when someone has it and when they don't. You can feel the difference. That's when it clicked. There are 2 types of people you meet in life, and it shows in how they respond to challenges, how they carry themselves when things don't go their way. Pride has a way of slipping out when things get uncomfortable. It shows in the attitude, the tone, the silence, or the excuses. A prideful person doesn't even realize how blind they are. In their mind, they're the wise one, even when they're clearly wrong. And that's what makes it dangerous. They don't care to understand. They only want to air their own opinions. They get defensive when corrected and act like they're above being challenged. You could lay out the truth plain as day, but they'll still walk away acting like they know better. They avoid people who speak truth because truth doesn't stroke their ego. They judge others fast but won't reflect on themselves. It's not that they can't be taught. It's that they refuse to be. When humility is missing, correction feels like an attack. Wisdom starts with listening, but they'd rather talk. And when you mock correction and hate reproof, you stop growing. Eventually, life humbles what pride refuses to change. But humility, it moves completely different. You see in how someone listens, they don't always speak first. They pay attention, they read the room, they adjust. When they hear something hard, they don't get defensive, they lean in. Growth matters more than ego. That's the difference. Pride sees correction as a threat. Humility sees it as a gift. Pride protects an image. Humility is more focused on becoming better than looking right. Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction stays stuck in ignorance. Being too proud to be corrected is choosing to stay blind. But the teachable turn feedback into fuel. They let hard truths sharpen them. Better is open criticism than hidden love. Wounds from a friend, those can be trusted. Humility doesn't just tolerate hard truth, it values it. It respects the people bold enough to speak what needs to be heard, because real love doesn't always sound soft, it sounds sincere. And they don't need to prove their wisdom by how much they talk. You see it in their posture, their decisions, the way they carry themselves. Quiet, consistent, grounded. Humility doesn't see itself as above anyone. It doesn't serve just to be seen, it serves because it cares. And the wild thing is, when you lift someone else up, something in you gets lifted too. That's what real service does. When you pour into others, it pours something back into you. Even if no one sees it, it strengthens you in a quiet way that pride never could. But that quiet strength, the kind that comes from staying grounded and consistent, it doesn't come overnight. That's where patience gets tested. And patience shows up loud. You'll notice it in people who hate waiting. They want the results, but not the work. They admire the success, but not the process. And when things don't come fast, they quit. I've seen it in life and I've seen it in the game. People drop out midway because they didn't get what they expected. But when you start practicing humility, it teaches you patience too, because growth takes time. Real progress takes both. But patience isn't just about what you wait for, it's about how you respond when things don't go your way. That's where the emotional side shows. You can spot in how people react. Some lash out over the small things, their voice, their body language, their tension. It all speaks. Some people get mad over stuff that doesn't even matter. They let emotions take the wheel. Then they wonder why they keep crashing. But when you stay emotionally discipline, that's real strength. That shows maturity, self-control, wisdom. Whoever is patient has great understanding, but the one who's quick-tempered shows weakness. Emotional control is a sign of wisdom, but losing your temper, that just exposes immaturity. And honestly, some of the worst emotional control I've seen comes from full-grown adults having tantrums like they're 5 years old. When emotions rise, they stop thinking clearly. They act off feelings instead of truth. That's why I say when you walk in patience and humility, you move wiser. You're slow to speak, slow to anger, slow to react, and that changes everything. It's better to have self-control than to conquer a whole city. Discipline is more impressive than crashing out, because real strength isn't always on the outside. It's what you conquer in yourself. That's impressive when your emotions are high, but you still move with calm and control. That's a different kind of strength. When you consistently practice humility and patience, people start responding differently, sometimes in small ways, sometimes in big ones. Their tone changes, the way they speak to you, the respect they show. It feels like you're a quiet light that people notice. That response almost feels like a reward, not because you're chasing one, but because you put out something solid and it reflects back. It's like whatever you give, you receive, sometimes twice as much. I've noticed that when I move with humility and patience, I start seeing results I didn't expect from people around me. The one that stands out and the one I've seen multiply is unexpected kindness. People return the energy you give, sometimes twice, maybe even 3 times as much. I've experienced this with friends who usually joke around and talk smack, but it was funny hearing that kindness come through, sometimes twice as strong. I've seen it with new people too, like a new coworker or classmate who showed me a lot of kindness just from practicing humility and patience. One time that person was talking about me to someone else without me even being there, and they said the nicest things, giving me my flowers, exalting me with positive words. I knew right then that that was the effect of patience and humility. Another result is the soft energy people start giving off. They speak differently, like your calm sets the tone around you. I've experienced this playing the game, like I said in my other video about scoring consistently in rec. When you play with humility and patience, even with random players, they start respecting you without having to ask. People show respect because of the way you carry yourself. Stay patient when things aren't going your way. Stay humble. Don't be selfish. When you start showing your skills, all 3 shine like a light to those random players. They see it and you get respect back, sometimes twice the amount. It caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it, but the way people responded felt real, like a quiet get reward you don't ask for, but it hits different when it comes. As I said, the exalted will be humbled and the humbled will be exalted. People often admire status, credit, power, pride, but that flips upside down to those who try to lift themselves will be brought low through failure, exposure, and humility itself. Those who choose humility before pride, serving without needing recognition, admitting that they're wrong, being teachable, gentle, patient, will be lifted in due time. Unfortunately, this is where I'll have to end the video, but don't worry, this is just one part of a 2-part series. This is what I shared so far, and for part 2, we'll talk about what it means to be humble with yourself, a few key traits that tie into this mindset, and how to recognize those moments in everyday life. And for the small percentage of you who stuck around to this very end, I just want to say thank you. The support through your likes, your comments, and even just watching, I'm honestly grateful. I wouldn't even have made this video if it weren't for you guys in the comments on my other video talking about the same topic through the lens of rec. Y'all inspired this video. Y'all inspired me. If you got any questions, drop a comment, like the video if it helped you, and subscribe if you want more like this. You're a real one for being here and listening to this right now. I'll catch you in part 2. Peace and thank you again.